and welcome back to the Review Realm. It's Sienna, and today we're going to be talking about Love is Blind. The new season was just released. The first 6 episodes were, and I had the pleasure of watching them. Yay me, go life. Now, I'm not a big fan of reality TV. I've watched maybe 1 season of Love is Blind, a couple episodes of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. The only thing I've actually watched all the way through was Love is Blind UK, and that was amazing reality TV. I'm gonna be completely honest. I loved it. I don't know if it's because of their cute little accents and they're like, oh, proper, or if it's because of the cultural difference. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to that season 2 that's coming out later this year, and I was like, well, I'll just give Love is Blind a shot, I guess. These people, they're from Minnesota. How bad could it be? How much drama could there be? Well, there was a lot. And I need to explain it to someone, so here I am on YouTube talking about Love is Blind. I love my life. Go team. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So let's get to it. All right, this is our first person that we are going to pay attention to, and this is Daniel. And let's listen to his reason why he's on Love is Blind.
I'm 5'8". If it matters to them to have a guy that's, 6 feet, they're just probably not for me.
That's just like a funny reason to go on a reality TV show. I'm having trouble finding women. I'm 5'8". And 5'8" is like actually pretty tall. You're taller than most women. So, all right, and this is Taylor, and her and Daniel, they really have a connection, like, off the bat.
My sister was born blind.
Oh.
So my whole life I've seen how she just loves people without seeing them.
Yeah.
And in like the context of Love is Blind, whatever happens with this whole thing, yeah, if I could just be a little bit like her, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So first Daniel is going on this show because he's short, a short king, and now it's because his sister is blind and he wants to be like her. I just am like, this dude. For some reason, I think it's funny, not like that his sister's blind, like that obviously comes with his own challenges, but like, this is like, I can be like her, like, give me some sympathy, fall in love with me. I have a sad story. Like, that's the vibes I'm getting, but anyway. Let's continue on this journey. Our next person is Devin, I believe is his name. We're gonna call him Devin, okay? Let's go with that. Devin. He has 2 potential women this season, and this is the first one, but he's a basketball coach. That's sort of like his thing. So they sort of have a connection, but Devin also has a connection with this other chick, which we will get to uno momento. The other chick that Devin has a connection with, and she is like, she has her doctorate, but she was also an NBA dancer, and so again, that basketball connection with 2 of the girls Devin likes. So they have a connection. Yay, go them.
Everyone says that I give off golden retriever vibe.
And he does. This is the definition of when women are like, that guy was a golden retriever. This is Joey. Okay? And Joey's accent, I don't know what like the accent name is, but it kills me. Like the whole time I was watching it, I was like, this is hilarious. I could literally just listen to him talk. I like his accent. Anyway. And she also gives off golden retriever vibes, so they match, they got a little chemistry going on, and I see it for them. If I'm like, if one couple's gonna make it, it's going to be them. That is my theory, and I've had it since the first episode, but we'll see if I'm right. Okay, this is the point where we come to our first villain. Within any, like, reality TV thing, there always has to be a person of drama, a person that everyone hates. And they really make you believe that it's gonna be David. Like, this dude, okay? Like, just listen to this intro they give David. Like, it's actually hilarious.
My name's Dave.
Dave.
What's your name?
Monica.
Monica, why are you here? What's wrong with you? So, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why are you here? I just have kind of been an ass to women in my previous
That's a great
life.
way to start.
I really wanted to
you're on a show to date some women. In my past, I've been not nice to women. Great job. You're really A for effort. You're really gonna find someone. Really gonna get a lady.
Myself about that. I work in medical aesthetics, so I'm surrounded by Botox, fillers, facelifts, tummy tucks, butt lift.
What he's saying is, I am surrounded by Kim K all the time. Okay, that's all I see, and I've been desensitized, and I now can't look at regular women. That is like what he's saying, and it's just hilarious. Oh, it's funny. Okay, and if you don't think it's funny, then maybe something's wrong with you.
I'm 30.
Okay. So you're no longer attractive.
Oh my God.
Especially like starting out with sarcasm when you can't see like the woman and her face reaction, like you could like piss someone off. Someone could be ready to throw hands, especially women, and if when you just start off with sarcasm, I think David was funny. Like that was a good line, but when you can't see their face, yeah, and you don't know them, maybe not the best course of action, especially if you're trying to find love. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but just saying. Okay, so David and Lauren have a connection, and then he also has a connection with this girl named Molly who has never been in like a serious relationship, but she like words it in a way like, I've never been in a relationship, but it's like, you just haven't been in a serious one, I think is what she's more trying to say. Anyway, so they have a connection. My favorite thing is when they show like the guys together and the girls together is like the different dynamics. Especially the girls as it gets later and it narrows down, like, I know my match and you're trying to steal my man, and like women get all feisty and stuff and guys are like, oh, we like the same women, whatever. That's like one of my favorite things about watching this show. It's just like women are ready to throw down, like, how dare you take my man? We're maybe like, whatever. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Now our next person of interest is Alex. And now Alex's backstory basically is he was like bullied as a kid and like in high school, very sad, like, oh, cry me a river, who hasn't been there? So Alex has a connection with Madison. And Madison, she's an interesting story, okay? So she had a rough childhood and her and Alex really bond because they trauma dump. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it literally feels like a therapy session when you're listening to them talk. And I get, like, you're out here for marriage. You gotta lay it all out, okay? But it's like, oh my gosh, if this is their first conversation together and it's like all trauma dump, that's just like a quick way to grab someone's emotions. And I don't think it's necessarily healthy. Like, if you're meeting someone for the first time, I'm not gonna be like, just lay all my childhood trauma on them because, one, who needs to know that, okay? Especially your first time. It's just unnecessary, and I just don't think it's necessarily a great foundation, but that's just my opinion. But whatever, they talk about trauma, which is good for them, I guess. So her and Mason also have connection, but Mason also forms a connection with Meg, and we're gonna get to Meg, and we're gonna get to all of this in a sec. But they have a connection, and it seems really cute. Then there's just like a lot of drama that goes down. So Meg, she says, and this is a direct quote, I don't do drugs, but I have high thoughts. And oh my gosh, she reminds me of one of my best friends, because it's like she'll say things and like she's like hyper, like you're like, oh my gosh, this girl definitely has like ADHD or something, because her brain goes all over the place and you can just hear it when she talks. But she seems she'd be like fun just to hang around because she's just spewing crazy stuff and you're just like, this is a wild ride, I'm down for it. So me, I personally like Meg, okay? But she has a thing with Mason, right? And then you also have Madison who has a thing with Mason. But Meg, her only person is Mason, while Madison, she sort of is between Alex and Mason. So you really get to know all four of these people within the first 6 episodes, because literally the first 6 episodes are just them in the pods. It's ridiculous how much is in the pods. Like, and the pods is the least interesting thing about Love is Blind. Let's be honest, okay? I want them to get down the altar and be like, no, I can't love you, tears, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what I like about Love is Blind. I hate the pods because it's just like, oh, let's get to know each other. Let's have these conversations, which is important if you're gonna marry someone, but it's not important if you're gonna watch TV, you know? You know what I mean? But anyway, I just felt like the editing could have been a lot better, especially, spoiler alert, since no one ends up with Mason, no one ends up with Alex, no one ends up with Meg, no one ends up with Madison, and they all screw themselves. I know a lot of people are blaming Mason online because the way he words it, he kind of drags both of these ladies along. I will say that. So Meg and Madison, he's like, the way he words stuff and is like, yeah, like I really like you and blah, blah, blah. And like he says like sweet little nothings to like these 2 girls, which sort of makes them believe, right, that they might have a shot of getting engaged by the end of this. And then Meg and Madison decide to talk to each other and they sort of like talk about everything, and Madison goes and sees Mason and it's just like, what she says is, I've just had moved faster with another guy, which is Alex, that she's more in love with Alex than Mason. Like, the way she words it is really weird. And it's just like, okay. So basically the rest of episode 1, you meet some of the other people and you have Taylor and Daniel. Now, when I was first watching this, I was like, Taylor and Daniel, I think they're gonna be a cute couple. And they're probably like the one people I can really see at least making it a long way. Besides Joey, I was like, yeah, Joey and them, they're both like golden retrievers. They both, like, that one's obvious, but Taylor and Daniel, I actually see, like, they have a lot of stuff in common. And I was like, oh, I can actually see this working. So you meet a little of them, and Taylor, she loses her voice, which is actually hilarious because all I could think about was like, she sounds like a dying goat. Okay, she's like, and all I could think about was, if you can't love me at my worst, you can't have me at my best. That's all I could think about while I was watching that. I was like, that's like a great way to like test men. Like, how are they when you're sick? I was like, this is just like, couldn't work out any better. It's not really important at all to Love is Blind, but I just had to point it out because that's all I could think about. Now, another couple that we meet, gosh, and I just couldn't stand. Like, I was like, I just have no connection. Like, I don't even want to hear their like love story and their trauma or whatever. But it was Dan and Sara. They do end up matching and getting proposed with, but honestly, like, I don't care. I know like there's gonna be drama with them potentially in the future, so I'm like, I'm just gonna say, but like, honestly, I just don't care. Like, I'm like, Dan and Sara, okay, you do you, boo. But I'm not really gonna talk about them for the rest of this video, but they're just like another couple. So yay, go team. All right. So we're gonna talk about David and his relationships now. So Dave has matched with Lauren and Molly, and now he's in a bit of a pickle. Okay, because he has to choose which one. David, he's just a character. Molly says in the girls group that her number one is David. Well, she tells Lauren, thinking that Sara has matched with David, not Lauren. So it creates this interesting thing, and Lauren is like all stressed out because she's like, Molly also has this connection with David, and it's like a big thing, but whatever. It doesn't really matter in the long scheme of things. And then both Molly and Lauren, in their own way, sort of towards the end be like, David, you sort of have to pick between one of us. And he's like, I don't really want to pick. He ends up, like, Molly really does the hard lifting, and she basically breaks up with him. Like, no, dude, you're not gonna have me. And like, then they get all emotional. Well, she does outside with Lauren, and then Lauren goes in, and David's like, it's you, you're the one. So David and Lauren, they match and they get proposed to. And I am really looking forward to how the honeymoon is gonna go, because it could be interesting. I don't know how they're gonna work in the real world, and I'm curious, because if they actually like go through and get married, and like by the time we get to the reunion, because by that point they've almost been married a year, I'm gonna be flabbergasted. Like, I'm like, okay, I kind of see them working together, but like them actually working together, it's just crazy. So I'm excited to see that. So that's David's whole predicament. And now we are going to get to...
I've never connected with anyone really the way that I've been connecting with you.
See, okay. Mason says that stuff, and like, I know he's like not saying that you're my number one to Meg, but he says like sweet little nothings to both of these girls, which really drags it on. And that's my problem with Mason. I know a lot of people are like blaming him for this whole situation, but I do think there is I think everyone has a little bit is at fault. Everyone is within this a little bit. Now Madison, she's the girl who like did her trauma dump to like these two men, and then the men like trauma dumped. It was like this whole trauma. Madison, you can definitely see like she's more interested in Alex. I think like there's just more of a thing. I feel like anyone could see that. The way her and...
So, can you tell me like what you want right now? Tell me in your ideal world what happens right now.
What do you mean?
I feel like you're trying to say that you're choosing her, but without saying that, and make me make the decision. Are you trying to end it with me? I think you should own your decision and make it.
Like, good for Molly to, like, sticking to her ground, but, like, this whole breakup thing, it's like, oh my gosh. Like, it was just so intense. But, yeah, he ends up with Lauren. And then they talk, Molly and Lauren talk before Lauren goes in. Okay, so Mason, when his game plan is to propose to Madison.
I just think that maybe this is not our story.
So Madison basically breaks up with Mason. I was like, oh my god, what is his name for a second? But she breaks up with him basically because her and Alex were like, Alex asked if they wanted to be like girlfriend and boyfriend, you know? So that's what happened. So now she's trying to break up with him.
Get there faster with someone else.
Right, the way she's like, I just got there faster with someone else. It's not, I love that guy anymore, like, than you. It's just, I was there faster. Like, it's such, just like a weird line to like break the news, like, yeah, you're not it. Okay, me and Alex asked me to be his girlfriend and I said yes. That's what happened. Okay, so now I'm ending it with you. Like, yeah, stop beating around the bush, just get to it.
Added some unnecessary pressure when I told you that I like was committing to you. When I said it, I don't know if it felt right.
I mean, I don't know why you would say that if you didn't mean it.
Yeah, and then he does like this bait and switch when he gets rejected. He's like, I put too much pressure on you when I told you that you were my number one. And then Madison's like, don't blame this on me. No, that's all you, boo, okay? Which I'm like, to be fair, he is throwing it back at you, and I would not blame. Like, dude, you gotta own up to it, okay?
You know, Meg and I did talk. I don't know, I might have lost both of them.
So my favorite thing is Madison basically is like, no, Mason, not. And then Mason goes and meets Meg and has like flowers out, and like you can tell he's about to propose, which is like the hilarious thing. It's like you get rejected from one girl, so you instantly go to the second. And girls talk, okay? Number one rule, okay? A girl's best friend or a girl in close proximity with another girl knows everything, okay? We talk, we blabber. So men, you're just screwed if you think that the two girls who are basically living together throughout this whole experience aren't gonna know stuff, okay? They'd be talking all night. And so he just goes and then proposes to Meg. It's just hilarious. He's like just trying to get proposed to, and it's just not working for him. So let's see this interaction between Mason and Meg, because it just is hilarious.
I had feelings for two people here, you being one of them. Validated Madison, and
Yeah, so then you go and say, yes, I had a connection with a girl. Okay, with two girls. I liked that one better than the one than you. And like you think you're gonna end up with her? Dude's into Lululand.
when I did,
Like,
it just did not feel right.
yeah,
to the wrong person.
it just like doesn't feel right, bruh. Ain't no way he just said that. He's like trying to like, how can I sugarcoat this? Okay, that's what he's trying to do, and it's hilarious.
Did you feel confused though before or after you found out that she was with Alex?
Oh!
That's the question.
That's it. Because, like, Meg's your happy-go-lucky type of girl, and then she's just dropping bombs on him. Like, were you confused after you found out you were the second option? Like, what is this? Because I'm sure as hell not gonna be your second option. I thought that was, like, such a... Yeah, you go, Meg. You go. Go, girl.
How would I know if I was your number one that you would pick? Now I'm just here by default.
That is true. Like, if I felt like I was someone's, like, second pick, I wouldn't go for it. It's like, yeah, oh well, my time on Love is Blind is done. Oh well. So anyway, they don't end them. They all go home empty-handed. So now we are gonna go to Madison and Alex, because at this point, you think they're gonna end up together, their boyfriend and girlfriend, yada yada yada. Well, doesn't necessarily end up that way. So what happens next is, you know, we have Alex and Madison, and they just start talking about Mason, and this is when things take a turn. Okay, so we're just gonna watch some of their conversation because it's interesting. So they both have these two sides of the story. Alex is getting it more from Mason, and then Madison, obviously she was there, and also some parts from Meg, and now they're talking to each other.
Did you ever tell him that you were also committed to him?
No.
Well, it's a confusing situation being in the pod.
For someone to be like, I'm committed to you, and then the next day just like be like, I didn't mean that.
And so I think Alex is just trying to be nice in some sense and be like, yeah, women can dramatize things. And Madison feels like Alex is sort of taking like shots at her character, I think, a little bit in this conversation. But by the end of it, she's like, I don't feel validated by you. This isn't gonna work. I need someone who basically is gonna support me. And so they end up breaking it off. So no one ends up happy in this whole situation. I've seen a lot of people online and it's like, it's all Mason, which I do think, but I also think like Madison also has like a part to play in this as well. And so does Alex and so does Meg. I think everyone is a little bit in this little triangle thing, but I'm curious how their relationship is gonna go forward because they are probably gonna meet in the real world because typically the whole cast, they like get together before like the wedding, like everyone goes and like they meet at a bar and then it's like, oh my gosh, that's what you looked like. Oh, when in doubt, there's always drama. So I'm curious once they all meet how that's gonna work out. Now, this is our big cliffhanger so that the 6 episodes end, and what do they leave us off on? Well, it involves Taylor and Daniel, and Taylor and Daniel were like the people in the beginning. I was like, I could actually see them together, you know, they're kind of cute. And this cliffhanger, I was shocked by it, if I'm being completely honest. It was not on my bingo card for Love is Blind. Taylor has to say.
When the doors first opened, I saw Daniel, I thought, he's so familiar. When the doors opened last night, that was not the first time that he saw me.
So Taylor is like, I've seen you before, okay? And this is insane. So when you first see the person at the proposal, that's the first time you're supposed to be seeing them. And now she's like, I've seen you. I know this dude. It's just crazy.
Getting a follow request, and I'm fairly positive that Daniel followed me on Instagram.
Okay, if Daniel followed her on Instagram, okay, one, she says later in this that he followed and unfollowed her back, and now she has a private account. She never followed him back, but she remembers this one photo, and it's one of his Christmas photos. So, one, how did Daniel know that she was going to be on Love is Blind? Because she's about to confront him on this, but I need to hear some justification, because if I knew a guy had like seen my face or somehow found out that I was gonna be on a reality TV show, I'd have a lot of questions, and you're gonna need some pretty good answers if this is gonna continue on, because honestly, this is kind of like stalker level, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna find, I know what she looks like, now I just need to impress her in the pods and like say all the right things, because in her bio, she says like all the things she likes are in her bio, basically like Christmas, faith, family, all this other stuff it's in her bio. So even though she does have a private account, you can still see all that info. So he knows that stuff. So he knows all the right things to say. It was all like to get her, and he's just saying these like pretty things to make her fall in love. We need the justification, and I'm excited for this. All right, so now Taylor is confronting Daniel.
When the doors opened and I saw you, I thought like, wow, he looks familiar.
Look at him, he just starts nodding. He's like, oh snap, my cover is broken. And he's like, how do I behave?
Had followed me on Instagram not long before coming here.
The way he breathes, look at that. He's like, oh snap, I'm blown. Oh, and 911, what's your emergency? She knows the trip. This dude, yeah, he's on thin ice. She can read through him. Yeah.
I do not follow you on Instagram.
I mean, you followed me and then you unfollowed me.
Oh, is she coming back with the receipts, my guy?
I don't know why I would have followed you and unfollowed you.
So that's his excuse. Oh, I don't know why I would do that.
A picture on your Instagram in front of a Christmas tree with your legs crossed, holding a drink.
No.
Is that picture? You don't.
So she's confronting him about the picture and he's like, no, I don't. Like, no. But it's like, it like sort of describes one of his Christmas and then he sort of owns up to it a little later. But then this is like how the episode ends. So that's how the first 6 episodes end. Okay, the couples that we have left is Monica and Joey, and Joey's like the golden retriever. Then we have Ben and Sara, the people I don't care about, so yeah. Then we have David and Lauren. Okay, David's our funny, sarcastic guy. Then we have Devin and Virginia, he's the basketball guy, and she was the NBA dancer who has her doctorate, so good for them, they're together. And then we have Daniel and Taylor, and I don't even know if they're gonna make it to the vacation. That's a lot. Like, dude has seen you before. It ruins the whole experience. You've been through all that emotional stuff just to be like, he's actually seen you. Well, there's that. That was the first 6 episodes of Love is Blind. We survived. I know it was tough to get through. I'm not even gonna lie. All the pods, like, they need to cut that down. 3 episodes max. I hate the pods, but that's besides the point. I know this was a little bit different of a video that I typically do, so let me know down in the comment sections down below if you liked it. I will be covering the rest of Love is Blind because I'm too invested in it, but have a great day. Bye.